In this video, I'll be looking at Rebecca Chelangat. She's a rising star here. She's had some really good performances over the last few months. Hi again from Kapchorwa, Uganda. This is home of Ugandan running champions. In this video, I'll be looking at Rebecca Chelangat. She's a rising star here. She's had some really good performances over the last few months. The most recent one last month in January, she won the Seville half marathon in a Ugandan national record and a course record time of 1 hour 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Before moving on to the topic, I wanted to share a couple pieces of good news. The first is Dan. He's a viewer of the channel. He's from the Netherlands but has been living in Uganda. He reached out to me in December asking how he could support the athletes. He traveled back to the Netherlands for Christmas and then returned back to Uganda with 9 pairs of shoes to donate to the athletes. He recently traveled to Kapchorwa, and what we did is that we went to the local camps, and with the help of the senior athletes, we identified the athletes most in need to receive their shoes. It was really special. A big thanks to Dan for what he did. The second is that on the last video, I raised a fundraiser to try and raise enough money to get 2 watches to give out again in a free raffle to the athletes here. So far, the fundraiser has raised $130 of the target $175. A big thanks to those who've already donated. I'll post a link again in the description for those considering doing so, considering supporting the athletes. Thank you for the consideration. So back to the topic, Rebecca. As I'd said, she's had some really good performances over the last few months. Back in November in Mbale, she came 3rd in the half marathon there. In mid-January in the Discovery Uganda races, she won the senior women's race, which was a 10K. And then late January, the Seville performance that I talked about. I've actually had her previously on this channel. In the video I did about shoes, she was one of the athletes that I interviewed. I'm interested to know more about her training, and so I intend to interview her and also see and share one of her training sessions.
Okay, I grew up in Kabenguria Primary School where I could see athletes training. The presence of Coach Irene James for Uganda Prison Service and volunteer coach Cherob David, brother to Kiprotich. So I got a lot of influence. I went to them, they supported me with the facilities, and that's how I started my career. It is like now 7 years since 2018, and 2019 I was able to qualify for World Cross Country in Denmark. My World Cross program, like I do Monday is around like 17 kilometers, then evening I do 8K jogging. Tuesday I go for speed work like 10,000. Then Wednesday I go for 1 hour 10, that's 16K to 17. Thursday I go for tempo run for 12 kilometers. Then evening I do like 8K jogging. On Friday 16K to 17, that's 1 hour 10. Then Saturday it is speed work for 10,000. Okay, that's my weekly program, and a rough estimate of 90 kilometers. I don't do Sunday so much training. I do long run on Thursday. If I don't go for tempo run, I do long run. 20 kilometers, 25, like that.
So it's Tuesday morning. I'm here to join Rebecca for one of her training sessions. This is being held at Seville College, which is just a few minutes drive outside of Kapchorwa town. It's going to be a cross-country theme session. Later this week on Saturday is the National Cross Country Championships. The years where there's a World Cross Country Championship, it acts as a qualifier. This year there isn't a World Championship. When I spoke to Rebecca earlier this week, she told me she's not yet sure whether she's going to run the National Cross Country Championship. She's still dealing with a bit of fatigue from her race in Seville. So yeah, she's yet to decide, and we'll see whether she will go ahead and do it or not.
and the presence of elite coaches who know exactly what athlete can do to improve his or her performance. For example, Coach Koske Isa, Kiprop Jackson, Coach Gia Benjamin, Chelangat Peter, and also the close relationship with the elite athletes. For example, Maslin Chelangat, Perus Chemtai, Stella Chesang, Joshua Cheptegei, and Jacob Kiblimo. And also my father has put much effort to plant passion fruits for me in order to improve on my hydration. The big challenge is when athlete gets injured. That's a big challenge to an athlete, and also transport. Like now going to Miembe, that's a big challenge to an athlete. And also facilities like shoes and also clothing. I'm putting much effort in training, and I'm hoping to qualify for World Championship this year.
It's Saturday morning. Today is the National Cross Country Championships. I'm in Tororo in East Uganda on the golf course. This is where it's being held. Rebecca has decided to run, so most of my footage will be focused on her, seeing how she performs. Best of luck to her and the rest of the athletes. Yeah, it's 9:30 and we're already running behind schedule, which is often the case with Ugandan timing.
One 0-0. 0-6-3.